This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
So Richie was hurt last year. How much did he mean to the offensive line? How much did he help you guys kind of gel and learn what you have to do?
Richie was like he always stayed on us, especially the guards. He helped us out whenever we needed help. He was just that like not like a coach, but like a big brother in a sense. And he was always like positive. If he had a bad play, good play, he always kept it neutral. Never was like a like super mean guy. Never was super nice. He just let us know like what we got to do to be better. So
John, they have put a lot of emphasis on teaching this offseason. They're a little bit different than some coaches, a little bit like Dabo. I'm just curious, can you talk about learning and adjusting to a new staff and how their more emphasis is on teaching in the classroom, please?
Yeah, I think Coach Carm's doing a great job at his job. He's we're all taking everything one day at a time. Everybody learns different. So some guys learn on the field, some guys learn in the classroom, and with them doing everything that they can, we try to do all those things. We go do walkthroughs, we do meetings in the class, we stay extra after with Coach Cam and all kinds of things like that. So I feel like that's a big help to us because it is a new system, and I feel like if we keep learning the way they're teaching us, we're going to be pretty good.
Thank you.
With that system, it seems that there's a lot of high expectations right now on the team. How are you and the locker room dealing with those high expectations?
I mean, it's high expectations every year for every team, in my opinion. Everyone wants you to be great, and that's everyone's goal. So I think whenever we all buy in, we all just got to buy in, and I think that's the main thing. And once we do, I think we're going to be, pretty good.
Along those same lines, there's that narrative out there that, hey, all the skill position players are there. If this offensive line holds up, that's the real question. I mean, how do you feel when you hear those kind of things?
I mean, it's just words. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got to do what we got to do to be our absolute best. So it's just like that's just words to me, and I'm motivated internally. I don't allow things like that to motivate me.
John, the OTA so far and going into training camp, how have you all as an offensive line collectively adjusted to the teaching of Carmen Brusilo? This, for you, at least your first offensive line coach change during your NFL career?
I think it's going pretty good. We progressing very well, way better than I expected myself to progress. But like I said earlier, the teaching aspect is the biggest part, and I think they're doing a really good job at teaching us and slowing things down for guys like me and then other guys too. So that's the biggest thing, is just making sure everyone's on the same page.
John, you've mentioned Richie and Colton helping you. So have you reached out? Have you been helping Dylan?
Yeah, Dylan's a good little rookie. He's got a lot of upside, man. He's a good dude. He's super quiet. He don't talk a lot. But I do everything I can to try to help him to be the best player he can be. It's competition, but he's still like a brother to me. Everybody that I play with is like my brother. So it's all love when it comes down to that. And if he needs help, I'll be there to help him.
You've spoken highly about the new offensive line coaches you're working with. You also mentioned Todd Cable, how much you liked working with him last year. What's the biggest difference between the two staffs? What have you noticed they do differently?
I mean, Coach Cable was he's an older guy. He has a lot of wisdom and stuff like that. And Coach Carm, he's not young, but he's a younger coach in the NFL. So I think that might be the biggest thing. But as far as coaching, it's coaching is coaching. You know what I'm saying? They're both really great at what they do. So, and that's why they are in the NFL. So.
How much of a benefit is it that there is familiarity now with you and Andre and Colton, and along the offensive line with the playing time that you guys got last year compared to where you were this time last year?
Yeah, I feel like last year helped all of us out a whole lot. Starting from where I started at and to now, I feel like I've gotten so much better, and I feel like I can improve so much more. I feel like it's just the beginning. I mean, I played all last year, but I feel like I still got way more to prove to myself and and to my family and everybody else like that. So I feel like everything that we went through last year, as a collective offensive line, that just helped us be better, and it's going to help us be better next year.
Back into that. When do you think the game started to slow down to you just in the NFL, just last year becoming a full-time starter?
I'd say mid-season almost. It was like a light just flashed. It was just it wasn't perfect, but I got better and progressively. And I think, like I said just now, I feel like there's always time, always times I can get better and stuff like that. And I'm never gonna quit like trying to work hard and try to be my best that I can possibly be. So.
John, you come from a winning tradition, obviously in college. You guys made the playoffs last season. What's that hunger in your belly like to get back to that and go even farther this upcoming year?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like you said, coming from Clemson, you know, to the Raiders is just like you want to win. You got to win, and that's how I am as a person. I just love winning. I hate losing, and going to the playoffs and losing in the first round, it sucked. You know what I'm saying? And that does give me hunger and makes me want it more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think just knowing going into it and wanting that to be my thing and my motivation to the guys around me, like, hey, look, we've been there last year, but we didn't get where we wanted to go. You know, there's always more. There's always more, and you can always ask for more from the people around you. Sorry.
William and Chris.
John, I had a chance to talk to Sandra last night, Sandra Douglas Morgan and Darren, and they said that the energy and the electricity is just a buzz. Sandra was really amazed by it just in the 2 weeks she's been in here, and starting with the different components of the business side, and then once the rookies reported, it's just the energy's different. How have you seen the energy different so far this few days?
It's definitely like high energy everywhere we go in this building. You know, we try to keep it that way. It's just like the culture that we're trying to implement into this program, and that's a test to the coaches. Everybody that works here, they all do a great job at keeping us, you know, motivated to be our absolute best.
Last year's coaching staff was last year's coaching staff, but I hear a lot through the OTAs and so forth that there's a lot more accountability, it seems like. I hear that word a lot. Can you talk about that, accountability with the staff?
Yeah, there is a whole lot of accountability, and I think that's a great thing because, like he mentioned earlier, I went to Clemson and it was nothing but accountability. So I think accountability is like the key to a great program. So.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Max, going into year 4, a lot has changed in this organization. The talent level in that room is much higher than it was when you first got here. Do you feel a different buzz about this team with the expectations, especially coming off the playoff appearance last year?
You know, the thing I've learned in this league is never get too high and never too low. We have obviously a ton of great talent on both sides of the ball, but at the end of the day, it's a one day at a time approach. We got a ton of work to do. Last year was last year, next year is next year, but we got to stay in the present and just get better one day at a time.
Max, what have been your first impressions, you know, working with defensive line coach Frank O'Cam so far?
He's been awesome. You know, it's cool. We have a good collective, you know, with Frank and Robbo and Matt Edwards. You know, we have a big group and everybody's working together to achieve a similar goal. You know, we want to be the best, and we're working to be there every single day.
Max, I think last year when you made the Pro Bowl, you made some comment like you weren't even sure if you should expect it because you only had 8 sacks or something like that. I think we've moved past the point where we know that sacks aren't the be-all, end-all to show what a great year you had. But does that mean something to you? Do you want to have a bit bigger sack total going forward?
That doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, it's what you put on film. When you turn on the film, nothing you can't hide. You know that shows who the best is and who isn't. So at the end of the day, regardless of my numbers, it doesn't matter to me. I just got to make as much, I know what it looks like and what it doesn't look like. And, Coach Marinelli used to tell me that all the time. It doesn't matter what numbers you get. You can have 0 sacks, but your film is what's going to stand out. And that's what the coaches will realize. That's what the players will realize. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. So opinions are opinions and all that, but it's all about the film to me. So no matter what it is, I just got to be at my best every single play.
Max, this staff does a lot of teaching in the classroom. They're big on that. Are you enjoying that a little bit more, getting more in the classroom time?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Every coach is different. Everybody has their own approaches all the way from high school to now. Every coach has a different philosophy, but it's all football at the end of the day. So I enjoy it. We have a great group. Our room alone. We just have a great energy in there. Rob Ryan's in there cracking jokes, and also is a great teacher at the same time. And you got to have both. Both. You got to have fun with it. At the end of the day, it's a game, and we're all in it together, man. We spend hours and hours every single day. So you just got to keep learning and get better.
Last year, you and Unique pushed each other back and forth all season long. How do you anticipate you and Chandler doing the same thing?
Yeah, last year, coming into the camp, it was a little bit different. Me and Jan had a great connection. And this year it's the same thing. Me and Chandler, we have an awesome connection. I've known him for years, so I'm super excited. This offseason being with him was incredible. I try to push him every day. He tries to push me. So we just look forward to doing that every single day. No matter what, just finding new things to get better at and keep picking each other's brains and lift up, everybody around us.
Max, since this team made the playoffs last year, there's been a lot of expectations. New coach, big ticket players brought in like Chandler Jones and Davante Adams. How is the locker room handling the expectations and kind of raising the bar as this year looms ahead?
At the end of the day, all that stuff is great. Davante is incredible. He's a great teammate, great player. Chandler, all these guys, is all the same, but, it doesn't matter. Preseason hype is preseason hype. There's always going to be teams that get hyped up and things like that. But for us, we got to show up and do the groundwork. We got to do the footwork every single day, or we're not going to get to where we want to be. So at the end of the day, we're just trying to work to get better as a collective. I think we have the people to do it. We have great coaches, great players. We just got to keep working to get better as a unit every single day.
At this stage of your career, are there still nerves and anxiousness and excitement on the eve of training camp?
Oh, of course. Last night I'm watching Last Dance like I did last year before camp and the year before. It's the same thing. So, just try to get my mind to a different place, because once you start training camp, it's you got to be in a different place mentally. It's here now. So it's super exciting. Every single year it's always a new challenge, new goals, new things going on, but it's football at the end of the day. So, there's nothing more I'd rather be doing on earth. So we're fired up.
One thing you hear about this staff, it seems like all through OTAs and so forth, was the word accountability. You talk about the accountability and maybe an example of how important that is to this team?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, there's a standard, and that starts, with your individual group, the defense as a whole, the offense, everything. So being accountable for your group, there's got to be people who set the standard every single day. And, personally, I try to be one of those guys that, all right, if we're running, we're doing conditioning tests, we're doing, whatever, I'm always try to max out in everything I do and try to elevate everybody around me. And we got to have a bunch of guys that do the same, and I feel like we do. Chandler's another guy like that. He's 32 years old. He was here at every single OTA, and you don't see that. You don't see that often, and that's rare. Davante Adams, same thing. He was here all offseason. The dude is the best receiver in football. So Derek Carr, same thing. Dude's going into year 9, and he's here every single day. So, yeah, we have great leadership on this team. We have a ton of guys that have done it at a high level. And the more people we get like that, the more leaders that come into it. Nate Hobbs, a guy who's been, working his tail off and getting better every single day. That's going to attribute, to getting this team better. And I think we're definitely going in the right direction.
Max, you mentioned off season. I mean, did you have an off season? You said you were working with Diaz or Shemaev? Who are you going with?
I love it. I'll answer your first one first. I always take a little break after the season. Obviously it's a ton that goes into this. But 11 months out of the 12, I'm training and in football mode. So I have a teammate, Duran, he was telling me about it. I'm asking him, like, how does Brady work, and what are the things he does that's been able to do it for so long? And he said when he first got to New England, Brady told him there's no such thing as the off season. So for me, that's kind of been my approach, is just no matter what, even if I'm not, after the Bengals game, I still, for me, it was like, okay, there's a lot of guys that go on vacation for a month and eat whatever, and then you have to cut weight and do that. Like, for me, I was still doing my normal routine, still meal prepping, still doing that, because that's what the great ones do. So for me, if I do that and show the younger guys that I'm doing this, and if I can do it, and I've had success, I've got a second deal and things like that. If I could show a guy who's in his first or second year, like, this is what it's supposed to be like, and inspire others to do it, I feel like it's going to help the team. So to answer your question, I don't really think there's an off season when you're trying to be the best at what you do. And then second, you already know the answer. Nate Diaz all day, baby.
You've implemented some MMA work into your routine. How does that help? And is there some transition or ways that, as a defensive lineman, you could utilize some of those skills?
Yeah, this off season, this is the first time like I really. It was mostly boxing. I've worked boxing all off season, implemented that into my training. I felt like last off season was really good for me, but there was certain things I wanted to take to another level, like just simple as getting up earlier and being here earlier. And then on off days, not just getting in the tubs and then going home. I'm going to do boxing. I'm going to do some core and just add little things into my routine. And that's what I've been doing. And I think boxing, is incredible, when it comes to timing, speed, conditioning, all those things, movement. And, I feel like that's definitely going to help, going into this season.
Max, I know you worked with Eric over at Extreme Couture MMA.
Yeah.
Showing working pads and things like that. Has that training, the MMA training, at all kind of inspired you to do more like that during the off season to kind of prepare yourself?
Yeah, I know Eric. I know, the guys at Syndicate and all them. Just being in the gym, seeing those guys. Like last off season, I got to see Strickland and him, like those guys spar and everything like that. Just like being in that presence. Like I feel like I'm a hard worker and everything like that, but you go in there and watch these guys train, like it's different. They push themselves every single day. So like that inspires me. Just being around them and seeing how they work, makes me try to pick up my level of intensity and pick up my training. So I know there's always more you can do, and that's always going to be my approach. It's another, Rod Marinelli thing. He's just like improve, and there's more. Like even when things are going good, things are going bad, there's always more you can do. So that's kind of my approach. So seeing those MMA guys, the shit they go through. Sorry, excuse my language. The things they go through, is incredible. They beat each other up. They're getting beaten up all the time. They have long training camps. And they still are going and working and working and working. So yeah, I just love like that mentality, getting to actually work with them and working with boxers and things like that. I think it's, just as important on the mental side, just putting that into my game, taking me to another, level.
Two more. Okay. I know you're such a student of pass rushing and just your position in general. You said you watched Chandler for years. Now you've seen him up close a little bit. What small detail does he do so well on the field that impresses you that maybe a more novice might not notice?
I don't even know how to describe it, but Chandler's just the reason why I like even in college, like I always. People would ask me what pass rushers do you look up to and things. Chandler was one of those guys that I looked up to, just because of his like unorthodox approach. And like seeing it on film is one thing, then when you see him on the field, just like talk about it and explain what he's thinking about when he's like moving, and then you see him move. He's so long and bendy, and he's just a different, one of a kind type of rusher and talent. being around that, I don't even have to say anything. I just literally sit there and listen because it's like it's such a different approach, like the way he thinks about it. But that's what makes him great. And so, just being around him and just soaking up that information is incredible. And he definitely inspires me every day to have, do the things he's done, win a Super Bowl, 100+ sacks. Like he sets the standard. He's been doing it for years and years, and he's somebody I definitely look up to, and I can't wait to get out there with him.
I know it's still a couple weeks away, but you mentioned after you signed your contract extension, you wanted to be a Hall of Famer. You had a lot of goals in your life.
Yeah.
You went out to the Hall of Fame. What is that going to mean to you to be able to see it, soak it in, and also celebrate Cliff Branch?
Yeah, it's huge. I've never been there before, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. At the end of the day, there's no more talking. I just got to go and do what I do on a daily basis, and down the road we could look back and see where I'm at. But it's definitely a big inspiration. Obviously, Cliff Branch, him being a Hall of Famer, it's incredible. Mark is going to be the one, Mr. Davis is going to be the one introducing and doing the whole, breakdown and everything. So I know he's fired up about that. But it's just going to be a big day for the Raiders, man. We have so many great Hall of Famers, and getting to celebrate Cliff and the Raider organization is going to be a lot of fun.
All right, great. Thanks, Max.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Stay hydrated.
Questions for Denzel Perryman?
Denzel, at this stage of your career, is there still nerves and excitement on the eve before a training camp?
Yeah, I'm nervous right now. My heart's still beating. It's like being at the first day of school. You see everybody, get around everybody again, starting all over again. I wouldn't say nervous, but like I said, it's just first day of school. First day of school, all over again.
Denzel, these coaches take a real teaching approach to getting a new system and all that. I'm just curious, how much are you as a veteran enjoying that teaching approach?
I'm enjoying it. I mean, every day you learn something new. I'll say that. It's going on year number 8 for me. Been in a couple of defenses. I've been in a defense similar to this one, but like I said, you learn something new. Like I felt like I knew their defense, their whole scheme, but it's all a learning curve for us. And just being a veteran player, just learning with the young guys, all us just learning together is a great thing.
It feels like there's been a lot of high expectations put on the Raiders for this coming season based on making the playoffs last year, having Josh McDaniels as new head coach. How do you feel like the team in the locker room are handling those expectations?
I don't think nobody's paying attention to those expectations. We're just trying to come together and be one football team.
Can you talk a little bit about, because I hear the word accountability quite a bit during the OTAs and this offseason. Can you talk about the importance of accountability and maybe an example or two that this staff brings and what you guys have in terms of just accountability?
Everybody got to be accountable. It's like 11 players on the field, and if I don't do my job, I probably mess up the whole defense. So that's where that accountability goes into. Everybody got to be on their job. It's all a new defense for everybody. It's all like a new scheme. So that accountability, it's on you to learn the defense. Obviously, we're doing it collectively, but when we're not in the building, it's on you to know what to do.
Denzel.
I'm a little nervous up here for some reason.
The other night at the softball game.
Oh God.
It looked like you were having a blast, man, and that was cool. I was just wondering, going into training camp and whatnot, having an event like that, camaraderie there with the Golden Knights and the Raiders, what that meant to you, kind of maybe lightening the load going into practice?
Man, just that softball game, that charity event itself was great. It was good to see, how many people came out and support, not only just the Raiders, but the Knights as well. Just being out there, those guys in general was fun. I needed to work on my baseball skills, I can tell you that. So, but, other than that, man, just, getting together, just two teams coming together, for the community it was awesome.
There's reports that you're seeking a new contract here going into the last year.
I knew it was coming. To answer that question, my agent Ron Butler's handling that. I just want to play football. That's it. I was waiting on it. That's why I'm sweating. I was waiting on it.
You did get traded here kind of out of nowhere last year, and you said all year, I don't know Vegas that well. I'm just so focused on practice now. I mean, you made a Pro Bowl, you became a fan favorite. You're talking about the community events. Do you feel more tied to Las Vegas now after being here for a year?
A little bit. I feel like I'm still trying to get my feet wet around here. I got traded here. It was, something unexpected, but it was a blessing in disguise for me. I mean, I had my best season last year, and, I'm going to try to, pick up on that. But just being here, man, I ain't locked in all the way yet. I'm still trying to, like I said, get my feet wet.
Denzel, last night at the Aces game, Mark Davis, Sandra Douglas Morgan, Darren Waller, all three sort of expressed the same sentiments and using the word energy or excitement as this week is building. You're a veteran in this league. Is it a different kind of energy? Is there a different sort of buzz with the new regime? What's that sort of that template, if you will, of energy and excitement?
I mean, I'm excited just for the season in general. Like I said, it's new everything. New coaches, new staff, new faces in there, new scheme, new year. So energy-wise, I mean, I'm always smiling, high energy. Pretty sure those guys excited, so I think that's where the energy level comes from. I don't know exactly what they said or, what was actually said, but I know as far as, energy goes, that's where I'm at with it. Excited for the season, man. Like y'all say, we got a lot of pieces. Y'all expect a lot. We're just going to go out there and play.
Yeah. You guys got more?
Yeah, what's it been like so far working with Antonio Pierce?
It's been great. He's a real players coach. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes when he's talking, he gets into it like he's a player, and it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. But you learn a lot from him. He's very understanding. He played the game. He ran the show, and I'm just taking notes.
That's good. All right, thank you.
All right, stay hydrated.
There was, but it was sold out. I guess, I don't know, there wasn't enough there because it was, it's good fights. All fights were good. There was a couple of one-rounders. There was a kid from the Olympics, silver medalist. He's kind of funny. He looks kind of dopey, but I've seen him fight before and he just destroys.
Any questions for Hunter?
Obviously, since the last time we spoke to you, you signed a big extension to lock yourself in here for a few more years. And I know you kind of stayed focused in on the football, but what was that moment like for you, and not just you, but your family?
Yeah, it was incredible. As you can expect, it was a lot of hard work, coming to it, and really it just lets me play here a couple more years with the guys in the locker room, and so it was an honor, and I'm very thankful, and I'm thankful for not only my family but the people around me and my coaches at Clemson, coaches at Saugus High School, and all the people that were special to me and helped raise me. It was just a great time, but more than anything else, just excited to play for a couple more years for the Raiders.
There were some moves that this organization made that typically teams that want to get to a whole other level make. Bring in guys like Devontae Adams and Chandler Jones. Coming off a playoff season in that locker room, do you guys sense that the expectations are a little bit higher now?
Yeah, I think Dave and Coach McDaniels did a good job of bringing in talent, making the commitment to us. We as a team have to reward them by giving the same commitment every day, getting better every single day. And so, every single season it's so fun because you have new expectations and you have a new chance to do something special. And every single day, it takes your very best to achieve that. And, any good team I've been on, it's not just one or two guys, it's the whole team buying in. It's the first guy and the last guy buying in the same way. And if we can do that, we'll have a chance.
What are the biggest comparisons but also contrasts just in your life and just in your game going into your first training camp in 2019 into this training camp now?
The same hunger, I would say. A little more confident, just knowing that I've been able to have success. Coming out of Clemson, I've had success at the college level. Now I had a little success in the NFL and hoping to build on it. But really, it doesn't change too much for me. I just try to go out there and be a great teammate, great player, great leader, whatever I can do on a daily basis to help my teammates out is what I'm interested in. I'm not really looking toward the end of the season. I'm not looking at, anything other than this day and getting better today. And, hopefully I can do that.
Hunter, how do you take all of those expectations that have been placed upon the team and then kind of apply them to your season? Like, how do you try to raise the bar for yourself based on what you put out on tape and on the field last year?
A sign of a great team is, have our own expectations, right? We don't really listen to anybody and what people put on us. We're just trying to go out, from every single guy on the team and get better every day. And, same with any job you have or, certainly playing in the NFL, you just go out there and try to get better every single day. And if you do that, then success will find you. And so just keeping things simple is going to be a big key to success.
There's that wide receivers are judged by numbers. But when you bring in somebody like Devontae and you start looking at, you, Darren, Devontae, and the others that are on this team, individual numbers may come down, but collectively it'll be working better.
Yeah.
Does that come into play at all?
Absolutely. I mean, we're just trying to be the best group we can be. So it doesn't matter if it's, Keelan or Mac or DeMarcus or Devontae or whoever's out there making plays, Josh. We're just focused on being unselfish. And I know certainly for me, this is more money than I was ever, planning on making. So I'm just happy. Yeah, I don't care if I have 10 yards or 100 yards. I just want to be the most unselfish guy I can and go out there and, have a blast with my teammates. And hopefully, for me, in order to be a great teammate, it's to be very unselfish. And, even when I have a lower statistic game or, and some people might look at a reason for me to be selfish and say, I should have a little more yards, then kind of identify that and just be unselfish in that situation.
How does the addition of Devontae help you specifically on the field?
It starts in practice, just watching him, watching how he works, watching how he sets people up in the meeting room, talking to him, how he maneuvers guys, how he sees the game. And then obviously Darren the same way, and, speed on the outside with DeMarcus and Keelan and Mac, just opening the field up, right? When you look at a defense, they have 5 or 6 in coverage a lot of times. And so if they're going to double one or the other, then, just by math-wise, then you're going to have a little more single coverage. And so I think Devontae and Darren and DeMarcus and all those guys are incredible players. You're going to have to respect them. You're going to have to put 2 on them at times. And so it could open up some plays for me, Josh, whoever is left. So excited.
Okay, there was a big scandal involving one of your draft classmates last week. Foster said we've been saying his name wrong since he was a rookie because he didn't want to correct the coaches.
His last name or his first name?
His last name.
Okay.
Because he didn't want to correct the coaches when he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on this controversy? How do you say his last name?
I thought it was Moreau, right?
That's because Gruden called him Moreau and he didn't want to correct him.
He thinks it's Morrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can get over it. Foster, he wouldn't make a big deal about that.
Hunter, DeMarcus was a big part of Kansas City's offense, and they wouldn't have let him go had they know they're going to lose Tyreek. What does he bring to this team that you've noticed?
He's explosive. He can get on the outside and take the top off the defense. He's smart. He's good body control. Running down the red line, he has a good job and good feel for not adjusting to the ball too soon and covering himself up. And so just very intelligent, very smart, and excited to watch him this training camp. I haven't been around too much, but just watching him from afar, he was always someone we didn't want to play against.
A little more, Paul again. How long ago, Hunter, does Hard Knocks, the year, Antonio Brown, the helmet?
That seems like a different life, Yeah, it definitely seems a long time ago. It just goes to show you to, for me personally, to take value in every season, every day, and every teammate, because teammates come and go so often too. So, next thing you know, I'm in year 4, which is wild. And, my daughter is 17 months, and just watching her grow so much, it really gives me a perspective on how fast life goes if you don't take time to smell the roses.
Hunter, you're one of the clutchest players I've seen since your days at Clemson. On the field, it's fantastic. But off the field, I saw you at the men's altar conference at Thomas and Mack with Derek Carr, accompanying him before he got up and spoke.
Yeah.
What keeps Hunter Renfrow grounded off the field?
Yeah, definitely, what Derek preached about, my faith. I think that's first and foremost, just knowing that no matter what happens on the field, and that's one of the reasons that gives me confidence on the field, is knowing that no matter what happens off of it or on it, that everything's going to be okay. I serve a God who's great and who's going to be there, and that's what I think the true meaning of life I find in Him and the teachings of the Bible. And so, for me, that's my bread and butter, and then my family keeps me grounded. I wouldn't be anywhere without them, and so those are kind of 2 punches right there, 1 and 2.
There you go. Quick follow-up, number 13. A lot of folks in Vegas especially think it's a bad number. Superstitious, you won't see 13 floors. I know Kurt Warner, Dan Marino wore it.
Yeah.
attracted you to the number 13?
I mean, Adam Humphries was number 13 at Clemson before me, and they were kind of giving it to the slot receivers. You know, Tyler Grisham, who's a receiver coach there now, wore it. And so I was just happy. I was number 35 my redshirt freshman year at Clemson as a walk-on. So I was just happy to be out of that number, to be honest with you.
The last two, Chris Honda.
Hunter, can you talk a little bit about, with the new staff, new regime, new thought processes, you guys learned all this stuff. Can you talk about the word accountability, and maybe it takes on a little added meaning with this new staff? Everybody's always got to be accountable, but has it changed a little bit, a little more pressure?
Yeah, I mean, the accountability comes from the team. They can be guided by the coaching staff, by the you know, administration, but the team is where, you know, any great team is going to have great leaders and people that hold them accountable. And so, you know, they're helping us and they're kind of guiding us, but to be a great team, you got to take ownership of it. And so, you know, as one of the leaders, and Derek and Darren and pretty much everyone on our team, we got to hold each other accountable. So what does that look like? That looks like, you know, on the practice field when we need to give a little bit extra in a sprint, or, you know, you're tired and you have one-on-one, you know, just coming up behind somebody and saying, all right, let's go. This is the time to kind of dig deep a little bit. And so on the field, that's where it takes place. And then off the field, it's, you know, doing the right things, and hold each other accountable. So definitely a big part of the offseason.
Hunter, this is not, I'm sorry, do you have a follow-up? This is not disparaging of the previous pro staffs, but this staff's a lot like Dabo in teaching.
Yeah.
They take that approach. So for you, how comfortable has it been to maybe get back to a little bit more Clemson?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the scheme.
No, it is. It's very similar. Just definitely journey-driven, definitely detail-driven. You know, they want us to do it their way, and you know, because it's proven time and time again. You know, it sometimes when you get a little too creative, you can make mistakes. And so if everyone has a process and everyone believes in the same process, then you're going to have continuity, you're going to have success. And so I've had a lot of fun over the last, you know, 6 months with this staff, and just seeing the parallels to them and my time at Clemson with Coach Sweeney, because very detail oriented. That's the one word that I would probably sticks out in my mind the most.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks, Hunter.
appreciate it.
That's it for today.
You've been watching Breaking News from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.